Social media presence is huge right now in 2026, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook Reels, no matter what it is, social media is huge right now. One big thing that you do need for social media is a capture card. And Elgato tries to take up that space and push out their products a lot. And a lot of people go to the Elgatos, but Elgato don't have nothing on this one right here. This capture card is Blue AVIS, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I had the Elgato and I should have did a comparison side by side, but I'm like, no, this has to go back because Blue AVIS did it for me. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna compare it to Elgato's 4Ks. So I'm gonna look over here and bring it up. So Elgato's 4Ks has external capture card for PS5, Xbox, X and S, Nintendo Switch 2, PC, Mac, iPad. So, you know, they all pretty much do that. Everything can do that. I have a capture card similar to this one right here that you're viewing me on right now through my camera. Capture cards are good. This one right here replaced my Elgato Cam Link because Cam Link can only do 30 frames per second, which is what we're fixing to get into right now. So for price performance, so this little guy right here is $69. The Elgato 4Ks is $159. So almost $100 cheaper. Almost $100 cheaper for this one. So the specs for the Elgato. Now this is the Elgato. 4K 60, 14:4 120, or 1080p 240 pass-through. Okay, and a lot of people don't know what the pass-through is or how to actually look up a capture card. So when you're looking at a capture card, say this one right here, the Blue AVIS, and by the way, this is a non-sponsored video. I do want to throw that out there. This is literally, I'm going to say unbiased, but it's going to be biased as far as money-wise, as far as how money-hungry Elgato is compared to something like this right here. That'd be the only bias that I have. But other than that, this is an unbiased, unsponsored video. All right, so let me get into pass-through real quick. And so you know how to actually choose what capture card you need for your streaming needs. So say you have a PlayStation 5. You play Call of Duty. Call of Duty can do 120 frames per second. Fortnite can do 120 frames per second. So you go out and you already have this high-end PS5 and now you want a nice high-end monitor. So me, for instance, I have a 240 hertz monitor and I would love to get all 240 hertz if I can get it with my 4090 or my PlayStation, whatever I'm playing on my monitor. So now we distinguished that I have a PS5, my cap out is 120. Now I have a monitor that caps out at 240. So I do know that I can get 120 though from the PlayStation. So that's all I'm ever gonna get on my 240 monitor is 120. That's it, because I'm playing on PlayStation. So now when you're looking for a capture card, what you're gonna look for is you wanna see a capture card that has whatever resolution you're wanting to record. That's gonna be the first thing. So if you're only wanting to record in 1080p and post it on or stream in 1080p so you're not eating up a lot of bandwidth, depends on if you're just recording or if you're streaming. Again, if you're streaming, depending on your internet, your upload speeds and stuff like that, which is gonna go into a totally different thing. You gotta look at everything. Everyone says, oh, let's just go buy a capture card and start streaming. Yes, it is that easy, but then again, when you start looking at the numbers and then you're lagging, you're like, why am I lagging? Why is this? Why is that? This is the reasons why, because nobody explains these things to people. So now I have this capture card. So me personally, I absolutely have to have 4K. 2K or 14:4 doesn't do it for me. 1080p does not do it for me on watching or playing a game. Watching a movie, I prefer my 4K, but I can deal with 1080p on a movie. But for gaming, I want that 4K goodness. That's just me. I'm so used to 4K monitors. I've been using them for years now, and I want it. So this here can do 4K 60. So once I plug this in, so right now it is actually plugged in for actually my overhead camera, but here it is. This is the little box. So you got an in and out. Let me get it in there. You got an in and out, and then of course your power adapter right here, and then of course your audio. So once you go in, okay, you're gonna go in. So for instance, the PlayStation 5 will go onto the in, and then the out's gonna go into my computer, and then the USB, or into my monitor, and then the USB-C into the computer. So now that it's into the computer, I go ahead and I open up OBS, and the only thing I can get with this on my PlayStation 5 is 4K 60, because that is the max out it can get at 4K. Now, Elgato has one that is $250 or $259 that can do 4K 144 hertz, but look at the price point, $259. That's pretty expensive. I mean, I'll leave links to it in the description for you. That way, if you don't know or you learn something about this in this video and you want to just go ahead and you want to buy that because you want that 4K 144. Okay, so now the Elgato 4K-S versus the Blue AVS right here. So the Elgato does 4K 60. This one does 4K 60. The Elgato does 1440p at 120 frames, which is 2K at 120. Guess what? If I want to drop my resolution in game to 2K and I want to play at 2K, well, I can play at 2K and record at the same time at 120 frames per second. So that means I can get 120 and 120. So if I have my PlayStation, I go into settings, I set it to 2K, then I'm recording 2K and playing at 2K because it has that pass-through. So for the crispest image that you can get is 4K. That's the cleanest image you can get. Well, you're capped out at 4K 60, but you also can only play at 4K 60. So now let's say that I have, again, 2K, and I play at 2K. Well, I can record 2K 120, and I can play in 2K 120. And same thing with the Elgato 1080p at 240 frames. This does the same thing. 1080p at 240 frames. So that means if I drop my resolution down to 1080p, I can still run my PlayStation. And if my PlayStation was able to hit 240 frames at 1080p, I can play at that and record in that at the same time. But the thing is, it's going to be comparison to the Elgato at $159. Okay, both of them have HDR VRR. This one does too. The Blue AVS has 3.5 millimeter head jacks right here in the front. The Blue AVS, I'm not sure if the Elgato, this one actually supports ultra wide as well. A lot of captures don't support ultra wide, and it will crop off the sides of your ultra wide in the capture card themselves. And Elgato is a big one that does that. A lot of people can't do that or have to go download plugins and everything else in OBS to try to keep that stretch view as they're gaming. So this one out here supports ultra wide screen at 3440 by 14:4 or 2560 at 14:4. So you get your ultra wides as well with this. And then the USB-C that's going to be connected to your laptop or your computer as you're recording, streaming, whatever you're doing, is actually a 5 gigabit port, which is what you need for that pass-through. That's the reason why I think they went with the USB 5 gig because they didn't go with the HDMI 2.1. Again, Elgato's at the same time, they don't have HDMI 2.1 neither. The only one that you have to go to for the HDMI 2.1 is the Elgato 4K-X. And excuse me, the Elgato is $247.99 for the Elgato 4K-X. And that one captures up to 4K 144 frames. So now you should be able to pass through because of the HDMI 2.1, get your 4K 144 and record at 4K 144, but you're paying that very premium price on it. And most people only game or record at 1080p no matter what, whether it's for Twitch, YouTube, whatever, because of the bandwidth speed of the internet. This one right here, I'm gonna tell you right now, literally, I bought the Elgato, I had it for about a week or so, and then I just so happened stumbled on this one, and I went ahead and ordered it, and when I plugged it up, and it did the same thing, and I didn't see no image quality difference. I mean, it was perfect. I have a overhead camera, which is actually an old S24 Ultra is my overhead camera here at the studio. And whenever I hit the record, I get 4K 120, and I get a smooth picture for my overhead camera, which is really nice. It actually beats the one that I have right now. I can't even think of the brand because I don't go with Elgato for these because they're so much better. Some of these off brands are so much better. So for my overhead camera, again, I had the 4K 30, and now I get 4K 120 with this right here. This one right here is $69. So if you're wanting something like this for streaming or podcasting, this one gets 4K 30. This one gets 4K 120. Which one would you rather have? I'm not understanding some of the logics of Elgato because we literally have these devices. Now, will these last long? I don't know. I know I've been using mine for about almost 2 months now, and I was just debating on whether or not I want to do a video like this. But then I know a lot of people, and I talk with a lot of people, and they just really don't understand the recording and the pass-through part of a capture card. And that's literally what the capture card does. Again, you get everything in the box. It is HDMI 2.0 for 2K 60, 14,444, or 1080p 240 frames per second. So we get the device itself. We get a USB-C to USB-A, but it does have a USB-C adapter on it. And then we get an HDMI cable, and then a HDC protection, and of course a little user manual guide right here. Now that I explained a little bit of the capture cards and what they do, I'll leave links to this one. I'll leave links to the Camlink 30 if you're just looking for just a camera and you don't care about your frame rates being high. I'll leave a link to the 4K X down there where you get a 4K 144 hertz, or the 4K S, which is identical to this, and I don't suggest buying it unless you just want that Elgato brand. This right here is the same, identical as the Elgato S. I'm Thomas with Tomology. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight and helped you with your buying decision. Go ahead and check out right here. See if this one is any good, or if it's trash, like to me, the Elgato.